Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to episode 86. I hope that's the right number of the Download Queue, your new favorite spot for gaming news, reviews, discussions, whatever we feel like bringing up each and every Sunday, 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, right here at twitch.tv/badlandsbacklogs. Coming at you on October 12th, 2025, looking down the barrel of a loaded fall season of games, which is why today's episode, for the most part, going to be a review episode. Assassin's Creed Shadows and Silent Hill F on the docket. Both of us have completed one of the titles and I want to talk about it. Very divisive thoughts, I would say, on my end of things when we get to Silent Hill. But till then, Kyle, how are you doing over on the West Coast?
Doing good. We just got pretty much just got back from Knott's Berry Farm. Not sure if it is a local theme park. Really cool. Fun time. Went with a daughter and wife, of course. Loved it. Got some good food. Got some boysenberry punch. So had a great day. It's a crossbreed of raspberry and blackberry, I think. It's something like that. It's good.
I have heard of Knott's Berry Farm from YouTubers, but didn't realize you're in the area.
Snoopy!
Is it Snoopy themed? Snoopy. Did they get the Snoopy IP?
Yeah, they got the Snoopy IP.
Oh,
yeah. Cornelia and Scott Knott. I fucking know the history of this place. They had a farm. They had shops, chicken dinner. And it just, eventually becomes a theme park. And, they're bought by Cedar Fair. And now Cedar Fair goes under. Now they're owned by the same company that owns Six Flags. So you buy a pass, you get Six Flags across the country and not. They're just like, please use our perks.
Oh, that's dope.
Yeah.
I like the Snoopy representation. I miss when Snoopy was at Mall of America over here and that they got sued into oblivion. But,
yeah.
The good old days.
Yeah, I know. Knott's also just signed they got the rights for longer too.
Nice.
Which is nice. Yeah, I think it's 2028, which I can't imagine it without it. They have a whole Camp Snoopy zone. It's Halloween. We were trick-or-treating throughout the ghost town zone they have. And then we walked over to the Camp Snoopy, went on the merry-go-round. It's a good time. You have Snoopy dressed up in costume. He's got a little mask on. Just adorable. Great time.
Love that for you.
Yeah, took a picture with Franklin. He was Dracula. The Peanuts gang was all there. To turn it to video games, there's a Snoopy video game coming out. I am thinking about it.
I saw that actually.
I'm like, if it gets good reviews too, I don't know, I might, maybe I'll wait for a sale. My daughter is not there yet, but she loves Snoopy. She's like, hey, Snoopy.
But you're gonna have a backlog. Snoopy, Bluey, Paw Patrol, they're gonna be waiting.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, but those are easy. We'll get them done in an hour.
Easy gamer controller. Easy gamer score.
Exactly. Can't wait. You're gonna see that score go up. I'm gonna hit 100K very quickly. All of a sudden, it's just gonna be like, whoop! Oh, he's playing all the children's game.
Sneaking My Name Is Mayo in there every now and then. Really pump out the numbers. That's been me playing Uno the past week. Honestly, though. 2 a.m.
I've
today.
been seeing that. You've been on Uno so much. I get it. You use your new Game Pass rewards.
The extra $10
plus classics.
No, at this point now, at first I was like, Uno, the memes. Because I was thinking back 360 days. Excuse me. When Uno was on there with the 360 vision camera, you saw some shit. That was an NSFW Uno game. Not good for kids, should not have been on. I'm like, oh, so it's normal now. You can actually play it without seeing things you don't want to see. So I hopped on and immediately 3 achievements, 4 achievements. And now it's at the point where I'm like, I have 1 left. Out of spite, I need to finish this off for the 1,000 points. So I'm just trudging along. Can't grind it, can't boost it. You just gotta have it come naturally with AI, so toughen it out. But then they got Monopoly on the side too. So maybe.
I played the Monopoly one.
Did you?
That one's fun. I bought that. Yeah, for the Xbox One, that first wave of Ubisoft games like Monopoly, Uno, and then Trivia Pursuit Pursuit, the first one. I ended up buying Monopoly and Trivia Pursuit. Played a lot with friends and family at that in that time. Fun time, good time. So I saw the Trivia Pursuit and I was like, oh, they have a second one updated. Damn, I should play it because it's a good time, you know.
Yeah, I think there was a. It was like the family game night pack. They would have like 5 or 6 of them on Xbox One. We played a bunch of that. Played a lot of Life. It was a weird time back then. Not a lot of games to play.
Weird. The Connect, man. Connect Rivers of Venture. Gotta jump on the raft.
Xbox
Odds
Fitness.
Logs. No. I played the games. You want me to run and do stuff? No. You want me to jump and lift the log? I'll do it. Same thing.
It was a good time.
I just need context.
I lost 30 pounds on that bitch. It was great.
Well, no, I'm not saying it's not good. I'm saying I don't want to. I love that she was a part of that. What a turn she took. I mean, it was obvious, right?
The signs were there. Especially, we watched the Biggest Loser documentary on Netflix or whatever too. I'm like, oh yeah, signs were there. That shit was wild.
Yeah, no, that was a weekly show in my household for years. So like, it's just really funny looking back and being like, man, I was aware enough to know in the moment what was going on. But man, what a show! What a show!
Anyways, this is America. A video game podcast. There's Biggest Loser video game on Connect. We can play that.
Hey.
As mentioned, not a whole lot going on this week outside of more doom and gloom. Xbox is supposedly being pulled from store shelves everywhere. Target, Walmart, Costco, I think was the third one. We'll see where it leads to that. Not a lot to say on that. We're getting into reviews. Before games hit, Keeper's out in like 3 days. Pokemon's this week. There's a lot. I'm not ready. I reached out for Keeper.
So are you getting Pokemon? Is that where you're at?
I think. It's I wouldn't normally, but I'm like, it's on payday. I get paid, so it's like, is it really like it's like future money, you know? It's not current money. It's that future money I don't have.
It's like credit. That's just the credit system.
Yeah.
Which doesn't make sense to me either.
Yeah, no, I think I will though.
Okay.
The past 3 I got, and again, there's enough change that I'm interested to see how it works. Like the battle system being redone, being in 3D space now, moves being on a timer, just having more options. I feel it'll keep me more engaged. Because even with the last 2, it quickly became a shiny hunting game where I just mindlessly logged on, ran in a circle, hoping for a shiny, and that was it. Like, I don't want to do that again.
Yeah, it's not.
But I'm hoping with this, it's new enough and different things to learn in a 20-year-old franchise.
Yeah. Excited to see where that one drops, like, and how people like it. All right.
Where would we like to begin, Kyle? Assassin's Creed Shadows, out earlier this year. Silent Hill F, Prime Spooky Season, October drop, release.
Did we talk AC canceling a Civil War game at Ubisoft?
We could lead in with that, yeah.
Let's lead into that, because that can go right into my AC, or I could dovetail it either.
Yeah.
But what a wild fucking thing to wake up and see that Stephen Totillo reporting that Ubisoft canceled an Assassin's Creed game set post Civil War, featuring a black assassin hunting down members of the Ku Klux Klan. Like,
dick.
Hell yeah! What a fucking concept! Like, give it Assassin's Creed Red Dead Redemption, but you're dealing directly with that. Like, awesome. Does that get weird and scary to handle? Yeah, it does. But you know what? Some of the best stories don't shy away from hard material, and that is such a ripe thing that needs to be talked about. And the reasons they're canceling it, saying that the backlash from the Yasuke being a part of AC Shadows, just being a part of it and having some, it's not historical, they're just putting it in there. It just there's a black man here now. That doesn't make sense. And people got angry. The backlash, the hate comments, the hate mail that devs got, that the studio had to hire psychiatrists to come in and just make sure their staff were taken care of to handle this outside negativity that was being pushed on them for doing their job, right? It's just, and so that's one reason. And then the political stuff in America, the whole situation with what's going on. Yeah, what a time. What a time. So disappointing that we would miss out on what could be one of the coolest and most authentic representations of the American South. We just miss out on that. We miss out on the side stories within that. That's not even saying the black man hunting the white man, like that, the racist man. That's cool. That's something that we need to talk about as a society, and you know. But there's so much more to these games, and it's just such a bummer. I love that. You know, I grew up loving American history, like most Americans do, and then you realize how bad it is. But like, there's just, yeah, there is something unique to that time period, and knowing that there's more to it. You know, that we didn't get taught everything is terrifying, but also like, damn, how far would they have gone as Ubisoft? I don't know, you know, but hey, let's just start the conversation. So.
Yeah, it's been interesting seeing people's thoughts online because I feel a lot of people have been looking at the series itself kind of through shadowed lenses, like, oh, this is too far and political and all this shit. Like the usual complaints. I'm like, you literally stabbed the Pope in the second one. Like, where else? Like, just because
you have the apple from the Garden of Eden, the first one, you are immediately dealing with biblical items. So, but you know, now we're upset.
Yeah. Now that it's this in current time, now it's an issue. Now it's a problem. Now we're gonna cause an uproar, which is funny because you again with the Yasuke stuff and Shadows, and then Shadows is the fastest selling one, highest selling one, whatever in recent times. Like, it just shows the online community is the vocal minority again, and they don't speak for the general consumer who doesn't really care. I'm kind of on two sides of this though, where like it sucks that this didn't happen, but on the other hand, I'm like, with Ubisoft specifically, would they have done the diligence that it deserved? You know,
I would say, having played Shadows, I think that they could have. I don't think the wide sentiment that online of people being like, even what you're saying, right? I feel the same way too, but I'm like, once I thought about it, I'm like, and there's stuff in Shadows that I just played within the last month and the DLC where it doesn't go full bore into Yasuke, but Yasuke was on a slave ship, right? Like he right, that is dealt with. They don't dive deep into it. How much did they pull that back? How much of that, you know? So I don't know, but I don't think that's fair to say. But you know, hard to know for sure. You worry about the execs saying no to the devs. We can't do that, even though the devs are like, but this is literally what we need to do. This is the story. This is real. Like, nah, that's bad for the money. Sorry.
No, I agree. It sucks that this has been a year after cancellation, supposedly. Like, I feel like stuff like this we usually learn years later and stuff comes out really fast. But this was like multiple people anonymously came out telling people about this project and where it would have fit. Because you think of if this was a full blown sort of entry, how far along was this been out? Because Hex is still coming out, and then Jade, I believe, is still the next one too. Like, we have two main.
I think Jade's the mobile thing, though.
Is it? Okay.
I think, yeah, I'll double check.
But yeah, at least still like Hex, whatever it is, if that's still the next one, like how far along were they planning? How far along are these plans in place? And is that going to throw out extra development time on Hex? Is it going to force them to push it out sooner to make up time that this would have released in as far as Windows goes?
Yeah. See, honestly, Hex being this project, if you think about post-Civil War, how far out of it, and then when you think about Hex is dealing with the state, like we are imagining, I think they might have said, or people were assuming, like Salem witch trial stuff. Those kind of line up, right? And if they did a two lead game with Shadows, we could have had the same thing with this one, you know, and it could have been, honestly, you could have had the roles flipped, where Yasuke was more the brute, Naoe being the sneaky one. Well, now you have, the black guy having to be more sneaky guy, which kind of fits with that time period, which again, flipping, some narrative stuff, interesting, right? So I could see that actually being the thing. Or this project, the Civil War one, was more of a Mirage style thing. They might have found success in that. They might have felt like, you know what, that's worth the time and investment. Let's do that now properly instead of it just being built off of DLC. Go something for that size. I can see it being that too, but yeah, who knows?
Sadly, the time we live in with games, everything's got to be pushed in some messed up direction, whether it's a new issue or not. Because even with Assassin's Creed, like it's not like, again, Yasuke's there. What was it? Liberation on Vita, the Vita one, black female
Freedom
protagonist.
Cry.
Like,
Yeah, Freedom Cry also
there.
had a. Yeah, there's a couple. It's not new. It's just I think we could kind of wrap this up with that. There were like legitimate threats made enough to members of the studio, and at some point, it's a game. It's not worth it, like if there's so many people, even though they're a minority, causing so many problems and it's causing so much issues, maybe you put it on like, hey guys, it's just not the time. And is it being a coward in backing down to racist and backing down? Yeah, yes, it is, but it is also protecting as well, which we're just in a weird time. It's just hard to know what the right way is, but I just that's like a legitimate thing I think people gloss over, and we're just like, Ubisoft is bad. It's like, it's really hard to say, let's stop this because we're already getting death threats and, cool. Like, it's just a shitty situation. So you can hope it's, you can only hope. Anyways.
Which leads us to Shadows.
Which is the bummer part. Because I truly have loved my time with Assassin's Creed Shadows. So kind of weird to tail that with a little negativity there, sour note. But last month I got, literally it cancels today. So I got it a month ago. I got UB Plus and decided I wanted to play Assassin's Creed Shadows, hop into Outlaws, which I did. Perfectly fine game. Perfectly fine. Not worth it. And then I never touched Avatar. Oh well, but because I fell in love with Assassin's Creed, so played that, beat it, and beat the DLC, which is also a part of Ubisoft Plus, not in Game Pass. That's the classic. So we're at $17.99 a month. So great deal for me, my guy. Great deal. What a game! I fell in love with the world. It's a beautiful game. I have millions of photos, actually just 100 about, not too many. It's just so realistic, and I think that's a huge part of why I fell in love with it and fell into it so much. Out of all the open world Assassin's Creed games, I've played all 4 of them. I've only beaten 2 of them, Origins, the first one, and now Shadows. The other 2 were too bloated. The main quest felt too convoluted. It just was overbearing at times, but Shadows kept me going. There was something about the flow of going to Naoe to explore. She was the shinobi, more the typical assassin. She had a grappling hook that you can climb up buildings a lot quicker, where Yasuke was slow. He couldn't make some of the jumps up the wall, which I love that they are different, that they had different abilities and traits, and that's a plus for the franchise. I want to see them keep doing that. But the flow of going between Naoe, exploring, expanding the map, getting the point, finding new missions, and then coming across the camp, literally pausing, going to the menu, holding X to switch to Yasuke, and then attacking that camp, and then continuing on as Yasuke for that time until a point where it's like, oh, I need to climb up this wall. Let me switch to Naoe. Let me sneak on this camp as Naoe. That's going to be easier. And that same process, pause, switch, and move on, and just keep going. Like, that aspect of it really, I think, helped the game keep going. The change in gameplay from Naoe to Yasuke definitely helped with, they just felt different when you were playing as them. It felt, he was heavier, he blocked more, she did not. She was sneaky, quicker, I just liked how their kits and their abilities expanded. The new DLC, the bow staff, you haven't touched that, I imagine. You fell off really early, I think.
Yeah.
Man, what a great weapon addition! You hold it and then you can change your position so you go up high, and that will stagger an enemy and get them out of their attack if they're in the middle of one before it hits you. If you're down, it pushes them back. If it's low, like you're just messing with more. I love it. It's a fun time. But that's the DLC. Yeah, I just the exploration and all that I think really helped me go with it. The story, the main thing, kind of lackluster. I don't think the main quest of hunting down the Shimbaku, if I'm remembering, is like incredibly dense or is the most narratively riveting, right? It's not that it's just there, right? I feel like upon beating it and it doing some of the other side stuff before the DLC, I did realize like they perfected being in the world and living in it, right? I feel like I was all in the other games, I was looking for the main quest. What am I doing? What am I doing? This one, I felt more natural to come across stuff and flow into, oh, this is a side thing. Oh, I'm looking at the objective board. It looks like a canvas, right? It looks like I'm pinning things up myself and going through. It's like investigate, like that aspect of it, I think really helps. So I don't know. They just figured out the UI system enough to like get past some of the bulk of these open world games. I just, was able to get lost in that aspect. The story, all right until you get towards the ending, which I think is setting up just two really cool characters, but I don't know where they go from here, right? It's just a lot of setup, doing the hunting down the people who killed Naoe's father and stole these artifacts. Yasuke is now helping her. It just happens. But then when you get towards the end, it's really about Naoe and Yasuke. And I think they do pay that off well, but it's slow at the beginning. And I was just playing an Assassin's Creed game, right? But by the end of it, man, like, especially the DLC wraps it up really nice. I really hold a spot for Naoe and Yasuke, like as characters, as like their relationship, their journey through the game and what they're doing. Just really, I don't know. There's something about them that I really like. Voice acting, man, that makes me think they redid some lines and maybe had Naoe do some of them and had to go back, because no matter what he sounds like, Gal Gadot, in that Wonder Woman. No, like, no. It's just sometimes it just doesn't work. And over the course of the game, I think it grows on you and you start to see and hear like, oh no, this is just who she is, right? This is how Naoe talks and such. But there's still line deliveries that are really, really flat, I think. So that take me out. So it is what it is. And especially like at the very beginning, one of the big major cutscenes really early, one of the worst that's one of the worst lines where she's like, no, and it's like, ugh, like I don't believe that you're really sad about this. So yeah, a little issues with acting, especially, in some emotional moments, but technically like the substance was there, right? It just, the animations weren't great on the face. The acting was flat, right? But it's like, that's really like, that's an impactful moment still, the dialogue and such. So
it's been so interesting. Kind of the flip-flop we've had with this game, where I started at the beginning of the year. We're now 7 months removed from it originally coming out. And like you said, I immediately almost hopped off as soon as I could. And a part of that was the acting and story wasn't grabbing me. For me personally, UI was an issue. I brought up the last time we talked, the day cycle and setting people up to scout missions, stuff like that. Just so many minor things added up that it started feeling like a chore for me. But then to come by 7 months later and you're like, UB Plus, I'm playing Assassin's Creed Shadows. I'm like, that's strange. And falling in love with them. Like, it's a weird dichotomy of how it could just be things hitting you at certain times, right? Could be what you're in the mood for. And like you said, when you've played the recent Assassin's Creed open worlds, past couple, but haven't really finished them. And this is the one that just kind of has the right magic, the right setting, the right whatever it be to be something you stick with and see through. I don't think it's really something that people can necessarily like nail down. This is why, but it just works. And if it blends together and everything runs well and story beats and combat, like all that stuff, like it works. It's awesome. It almost makes me want to give it a second chance because, yeah, I
really think you should.
I maybe did like an hour after getting Yasuke in the open world, post all the introductions, post all that, like just after getting him for the first time, quote unquote. But
yeah, no, you should. Yeah, once you unlock Yasuke, that's the prequel ish. But I get why they did it that way too. And again, it is the open world Assassin's Creed game. That is the scope of it. It is a large tale, right? It is a story of these two, and technically years pass with the season system. Technically years are passing. So to me, I spent years with these people and it worked. Sometimes it didn't. I would go, I'm talking about the season. So every time you would fast travel, it would progress a meter that once it filled up, you would change into the next season. Typical 4 seasons. Loved that aspect. That also helped the game because it changed up the map completely. All of a sudden, there was snow and it was quiet and like it acted that way, or it's like a blizzard and you can't see and it's like, oh, I'm gonna switch to now way because I can just crouch, walk around, stab, and it's windy and loud and blizzard and they can't see me, and it worked. That's exactly what happened. And so loved it. If it was summer, I wouldn't have been able to do that. So that's a cool way to kind of mix up gameplay, of course. Yeah, I went on a tangent there. What was I talking about? I got distracted by seasons. Fast travel. Oh, I would so you fast travel, it would progress that meter. So I would like talk to someone, do a quest. They'd be like, all right, cool. Thank you. All right, now go back. Okay, I'm going to go back. It would progress. I'm like, man, it was like winter, snow, and now it's spring. And I'm like, what a journey. And I'm just walking back to give them a letter. So it's like, they're not far away. They're like a couple blocks down the street. Moments like that, you're like, all right, cool, season change. But other times it would coincide perfectly with the end of a quest, and it would just feel like this is an ending and time passed because we just hunted down this enemy. We just did it. And then next season, it's like, it just naturally happened. And I loved how that happened, those moments.
From depending how spoilery you want to get with this, again, 7 months out removed, with the two characters set up, Yasuke, Naoe, and you mentioned that it all ultimately culminates in like getting revenge on the people that killed her father. Is Yasuke's story, because I don't even remember, is his immediately kind of thrown in with hers? Because I know he had his own separate thing going on with his master he was working with, or whatever.
Well, the people who killed his master, Oda Nobunaga, who's like a real historical figure.
The OG.
There's a game on Game Pass that was like Nobunaga's Fury, or I saw it on sale and I was like, Assassin's Creed. It's a person. Anyway, sorry. Now I lost my train of thought. I apologize.
If you want
it's been a day. I was in the sun a lot.
If you want to learn more, he's also in Dynasty Warriors 3 Remaster coming out in January. He's a bastard.
Hey, that's awesome. That's awesome.
No, about their stories intertwining.
Yasuke, yeah. So the people who she's hunting down, who she wants revenge after, are the people who ended up like attacking him and taking out his master. So he wants to get revenge on them too, and avenge his master. And through that course, he's like, no, I want to help you out. I story stuff. He saw an assassin who ended up saving him, and he then attributed his life to that random assassin. He doesn't know who they are. They may or may not be dead or alive. But he just was like, oh, I got it. That's someone who saved my life. So when he sees Naoe with that blade, he's like, I got to help you. So that's how they kind of end up together. But then also those people took out Lord Nobunaga. And then throughout the course of the story, he is angry and kind of bent on revenge, and he is this samurai who's choosing honor, who came from nothing, who is lost people and was on he was a captive on a ship, got pulled up out of the ocean, like got taken under this master and given everything. He became the right hand man. He was the Lord Samurai, like right. He was that guy. So he kind of has that feeling throughout. So them going back and forth of her being this person who's done and just wants to go hunt people and is angry and wants revenge, and him being that foil of like but also it did really mend well. It did really blend well together. I think I was trying to say mesh, but I messed that up.
With that contrast, did you play the characters like that too then? Like Yasuke is obviously marketed as the bigger brute brawly, now a more stealth. With skill trees, are you able to diversify that at all, or are they pretty much stuck? You need to play this way with this character, sort of thing.
You pretty much need to play that way. You definitely can sneak around with Yasuke and such, but if you can get up onto a rooftop. He can climb. It's slower. You have to have the right stuff. You have to find the right crates to get up sometimes. But if he's walking across ropes, there's ropes tied to the building. Now he can walk on it. He can't go walking and it'll break because he's bigger and heavier. So you can't sneak fully with Yasuke, right? And stuff like that. So so yes and no, and I like that. I really did. I liked having the moment of, oh wait, let me get out of this fight. Let me go to Yasuke. That was silly of me. And like, is that silly? Is that take you out of the it's not immersive. It's like, no, it's a game though, and it made me have fun. And I like Naue being like, fuck, I fucked up. Yasuke, there's a camp. Go do it. I messed up. Like they're aligned. He's like, all right, I'll go take care of it. And then he does it. Like that's a headcanon. That's just me, but whatever. You can explain that away. I thought that aspect really did help. I definitely played them that way. There were gameplay moments too, especially in the DLC is on the mind. I played most of it yesterday, so it's like fresh, the story. I'm getting those mixed up. But throughout both, there are missions and such where it's like, no, I'm not going to fight him. I'm now Go Yasuke's like, I'll take on that guy. I'll take on the brew. He's a tank. Like he's tough. I got to do it. And that is natural. That feels right. I like that so much. I'm perfectly fine with Yasuke being way more of a brute and feeling heavier and slower at times, with Yasuke feeling nimbler and being a little like weaker at times. Like she can get hit and be knocked. I like that. Felt good.
I feel like it's a good natural sort of evolution of the last one I played, which was Syndicate, which also did the 2-character thing with Jacob and Fry. And they kind of same thing, like, oh, Jacob's more the brawler, but you didn't really get that difference in gameplay. Like, I think he may have had slightly more damage when fights and like minor stuff, but not, as you were saying, where it's breaking you out of cover, breaking ropes, you can't traverse certain ways. Like, that feels like a more natural evolution of that makes it rewarding to switch between the two. Because I feel if not, people could be stuck mainlining as one, right?
100%. And it's so easy to throughout. I never felt like I never felt forced to, even though I was at times like for a story, right? But I wasn't like, ugh, okay, they're forcing me. I was like, oh, playing as Yasuke. Oh, that makes sense. But even like that doesn't mean Naue wasn't good at fighting either. It just meant you attacked it differently, where Yasuke you can hold block and he can take a hit or two. She couldn't. And she's quicker. So I'm relying on her dodge to get around people more and do stuff like that. And then their abilities are different and whatnot. But they both handled themselves very well in different situations. Yasuke definitely like very little sneaking. I did very little sneaking, if like only would to get into a position to do his brutal assassination, which he just takes whatever weapon and just like stabs them and lifts them up so everyone sees and then slams them down. So that's like the only time I would crouch and sneak around with him just to start the fight. Did not use any ranged weapons for Yasuke or for Naue. No, I like just never really did. I know he had his kit really was like 50-50, a lot of range stuff for him, but I just not really 50-50. It was just the bow and the Teppo, which was the rifle, but did not find interest in those.
That's wild. I like my ranged combat. Fucking in up close. Don't like it. Don't want to be a part of it.
It's so good. I got
what-
my. I could go for it.
No, I was just say how you mentioned how much time are you in now that you've rolled credits in DLC? You said
The Xbox clock says over 3 days and like 6 hours, but with quick resume, I think that clock is wrong. I'm thinking I'm around 40 to 50 at the most, and that's including DLC. But
That's
yeah,
not
I was
bad.
like, very early on, I was like, this clock seems wrong. Like, I hit a day very, very quickly, and that didn't make sense to me. So I just always was like, that's wrong.
with
I
that,
put 72 hours into this.
put a day in 2 days.
Yeah, if I did, it was all photo mode, baby.
Ayo, how much side content did you do then? Did you sort of mainline or did you take time to branch out and do side stuff?
Ended up mainlining towards the end of it. But the first, third, fourth, yeah, like almost first half of the game. No, more than half of the game. I really would get pulled away and do some side stuff for the people of the various cities. But once you get, I think I was talking about it on another episode in the past. I liked how it didn't feel as overbearing at first. It didn't feel as expansive and just blech, here's everything. Here's our content vomit onto the map of Valhalla. I didn't feel like that at the beginning in Shadows, but then later on, it's like, okay, this zone is like the other ones. You have the hub, you get here for your mission, you have to do your main stuff, and then there's side quests that are pretty similar. Go to the right. So I stopped doing everything I came across in those later zones.
Sorry, misclicked.
You're good. Sorry.
I had a screen pop up as a Windows Defender thing. So 40, 50 hours. You mentioned DLC. I was trying to find, which is what I clicked up on. That seems to be the only one so far that they have announced. Do you know anymore? Are they planning more drops later on or stuff that you're planning on jumping into?
I don't know if they're like, yeah, I just know of the one and such. The way it ends is a perfect, the way the DLC ends. Really, I mean, it kind of feels like the epilogue, which it should in a lot of ways. But it could be the end of them. It really could. They don't have to do more. It sets it off in a nice, go finish and do whatever else you want in the world. The story continues in that regard. You are continuing to help people around your country and the island of Awaji if you want. But yeah, I hope we get more of this style. But because Valhalla had a couple DLCs, but I think they were announced. So we will see. The reception of Shadows makes me think we probably not.
Yeah, probably canned it early before they had time to put a ton of resources into it, I would imagine. Which
yeah,
sucks.
they're just like, let's not invest in that. But yeah, the talk about the DLC, because I really, this is a whole package, because this DLC came out last month, and it came out recently, and that's part of the reason why I kind of got the idea to play this again. I didn't know it was in the subscription though, so loved that. But you travel to an island off the coast, so it's its own little world. You go there, and it is an island that is controlled by a woman. He just locks it down. Everyone fears her. As you are walking around, you're looking for Naoi's mother, by the way. That's why you're there. You hear rumors of a shinobi, so you're looking for her. But as you get there, you're walking up to people asking them, and they're like, no, like, sorry, no, don't talk to me, because Naoi looks like her mother. She's like wearing, she looks like a shinobi at times. So everyone's already scared of her, and instantly the vibe is set of like, oh wow, there's someone here who is really like put fear into people. It's her mother, we're assuming, right? It's like, that's cool. But also the city is like in fear of this ruler, and that is felt, and was really, really cool. As you're walking around, you're attacked a lot. As the story progresses and you get into the meat of it, you'll have some of the people around the island that are dressed like civilians. Like, all the civilians have the straw coat and hat on. As you walk by, they'll just attack you, and you're like, oh shit, there's one of the spies. As you're walking on the trails, there's a bunch of traps hidden, so you'll just run into bombs. And you're like, ah, shit, God, I'm all surrounded now. The island of Awaji felt dangerous. It felt like tight, and it felt like there was someone who had, like they keep referencing, she has her claws on the island. She has her claws tight on the island. Claws of Awaji, clever, right? But it felt like I was like, yeah, no, she has a tight grip on this island. Like we're running around, there's a bunch of captains, and it just felt like I was always being attacked. And as you progress through and you take down some of the captains to weaken her core and everything, the island feels safer. And by the end where I'm like, I did everything, I'm like ready to go do the final thing, the island felt safe. And I was like, that felt awesome. That felt natural. It didn't feel weird. Like I just truly loved that scaling of the danger of how it felt. A lot of the vibes on this island, my friend, felt like what it could feel like if you're walking around a dense wooded forest looking for maybe someone accused of being a witch in Salem. Like the dense wooded, the fog as you're walking up all these craggly branches. I was like, oh baby, this is all right. This is where you're going. I see it. I can't wait for that. It's South of Midnight, like that Southern folklore style. What we could have had. Yeah, a lot of Awaji. I was like, I mean, yeah, if they're doing Hex still and that's what the vibe is, did a lot of that in this island. A lot of it. I think there's a photo I took that literally there's this like a bird's nest, you know, they get branches and everything. Definitely not the photo of the dog. Look at that good boy,
Look at that good boy, though. So fluffy.
Yeah, it looks like a bird's nest and it's all branches. It's like, all right, that looks like a thing that has a curse on it. That looks like I shouldn't. I'm just like, yes, that's a witch thing. It's not, but it could be a hint and a reference to what's coming. Because nothing really happened in the story with it. Anyway, sorry, tangent.
Well, no, it's a good tangent because it leads into the last thing.
Yeah.
With Hexy being the next one, are you like anticipating this now? Are you back in with the franchise, wanting to continue on with it?
Put it in Ubisoft Plus for $18. I'll play it day one and beat it in a month, my guy. Yeah, what a fucking way to do it. I hate that subscription models would get me. No, I am incredibly looking forward to what's next. I love Assassin's Creed. I've played them all from the beginning. Just as they came out, that was one of the franchises I just got stuck on and was so invested in Desmond, and my mind was blown when that clock hit 0 and you know, whatever happened, you know. Desmond, what a letdown, that modern day story. And now there's no modern day story at all. I don't remember ever being modern in this game.
Oh yeah,
that blows my mind. I could not tell you what one point, at any point, modern day component of this game was there. Are we the modern day component now?
It's now become a meta dialogue on it. Yeah,
you're
even
like, screw it.
Valhalla had it, like, for them to just drop it.
There's nothing in Shadows. I think there's like a weird battle pass style thing where if you're doing stuff in the world, you can come across anomalies that either do something or just like collect the thing and then it progresses a thing and then you get gear and whatnot. That might be some story tied to the modern day thing. I have not dove into that at all. But I've looked and I was like, huh, I don't know what this is. But yeah, no, not like the old day where you get pulled out and they're like, Desmond, you have the bleeding effect. Be careful.
You need to go to bed, Desmond.
Desmond, sleep. There's blood writing on the walls.
Oh no.
Yeah, no, none of that, which blows my mind. But yeah, no, I can't wait to see what's next. I hope they can do what they want. But in light of the other news, you know, we'll see. Definitely trepidatious. It sucks because they made a great, solid game, and then all this weird stuff happens where you're like, oh, well, what are you going to do with the franchise now? You know? So. But hey, I will be buying this game to have at some point when I find it on sale, and eventually, because there's like other stuff to do. I have all the castles with the samurai daimyo in there, and I got to collect the legendary chest and just take pictures. So many fucking pictures. I love this world. When I tell you, when you look at the ground in this world and you see the layers of pine needles and like the dead leaves and duff, and I'm like, that's so cool. It's just a beautiful world. You know, good job, artist. You did it.
Oh, it's pretty. And going through your photos, it almost gives me like a. There's a phrase for it, but I feel like when I played it, it didn't look like this. Like I have a decent enough TV, but like I see photos and gameplay online and like other reviews. I'm like, my game don't look like this. Like, are my settings messed up? Like, I need to go double check my TV settings or something.
No. Oh no, I'm messing with the filters. I'm like exposure, brightness. No, that's not right. Like I just I don't know. It's fun, and I need to do a stream where I just sit in photo mode, like run around and then show how I do photo mode, because like some of the photos are the same shot, just different angles.
Oh, okay.
And just different edits. You know, there's some that are the same composition, the same like format and everything. But I did different colors. Essentially, I did different filters and editing. But other times I'm flipping the camera around. I'm like, look at this flower. I'm like, oh, now look at this person. Now look at this. Yeah. Yeah. Check out my, I post a lot on my social. So if you want to see any of these photos, they also are in this episode. If you're listening on audio, you're missing out. But yeah, some of these, it's a beautiful world that photographs beautifully.
Solid photos. I'm going to bring one up here just for you to have reference because it ties in with something I'm going to talk about here in a bit. So this one caught my eye. The art style of it, how it's set up, good. Good. They're all great, but this one's really relevant later. I'm excited to see where this falls in your list at the end of the year now. Seeing where everything comes together.
Yeah, no, because this was a great time. I truly enjoyed my time with it. Yeah. Story isn't about the revenge. Story is about Naue and Yasuke. And Junjiro. Oh, our little boy.
I'm gonna say, is that the little kid that you have?
The little kid.
Yeah.
Well, I just got a kind of like some Sumni or Sum. It's also funny how like the words I'm just like chuchue or dad. I'm like, oh, my chuchue. Yeah, no, I really like this game. Great time. I'm gonna miss it because I won't be able to play it because I will not have that subscription anymore. But I beat it. I beat the DLC, and I'm still not done with this game. Like, and that's just where I'm at, and that's so fucking awesome because I have not had an Assassin's Creed game like that. So, I cannot wait to sit on it, not touch it for a while, obviously, and pick it up maybe on a sale and be like, my baby is back. Let me go do all the cool stuff and yeah. There's just like so many. Like I have to go buy tea kettles for a guy. I want to see what that does. There's like a music one. There's like all these side quests. I'm like that. I want to do that. The world is just very well realized. All right, I can stop. I'm just rambling.
Okay.
Sorry.
That's good. Going from feudal Japan to 1960s Japan.
That's funny. That's funny.
That's great. This past week, I have not only beaten and rolled credits on Silent Hill F, I have completed my second playthrough and a quarter of a playthrough before I've already ultimately uninstalled this game. I have had such a hard time trying to put together thoughts with Silent Hill F. We talked about it a bit before going in. I was excited. It wasn't one of my most anticipated of the year or anything. I remember seeing the initial reveal trailer 2 years ago when they did their Silent Hill Day stream, and it was just this white-clad woman, very mushroomy Last of Us, taken over by spores, sitting in a field of these red flowers. And that was it. Silent Hill F. This is our next mainline thing. Cool, new setting, new almost everything you would expect coming in. Baseline thoughts going in. I had to kind of write out a little blurb to put stuff together before breaking it down into sections. At its base, Silent Hill F is a beautifully crafted experience that has just enough misdirections and questionable decisions that hold it back from being a truly amazing experience. Much like the world across all of Silent Hill games exist in two realities or worlds, Silent Hill F feels like it was also developed in a world within two different realities, causing parts of the game to be at odds with each other and not fully bringing the true painting of what this game could have been. And I say that and you're like, that sounds like you're trying to be smart and shit, but I'm like, one of the first things the game tells you when you're starting, combat is a rare commodity. Avoid if you can. Your weapons will break, which they do, especially at the beginning. You can maybe get through an enemy, maybe an enemy and a half before they are just gone. Not very fast to come by. You can find repair kits that bring up either sort of stamina of them. You get more uses, but those are rare to come by. I maybe found 5 my entire first playthrough. So it really punches into you of, you should not be doing this. Run at all costs. You are essentially a high school girl trying to survive. So you're not built for these scenarios. And then within an hour or two, it throws in multiple gauntlet rooms, combat rooms in a row, boss battles, stuff that if you have been playing the game the way they've literally been telling you to, you will be unprepared for. The combat and story, you can have different difficulty settings you pick at the beginning. I had puzzles on hard story and then the combat on just the story difficulty, so the easiest. I still got my ass beat repeatedly. It is a very unforgiving system where it relies on you to do near frame perfect dodges for counters and to get stamina back. One certain enemy type that crawls around on all fours and like sonar hews you through walls and has like a 9 to 10 hit combo that you just get stuck in a corner and you can't move the camera to get away from. And oh, we're going to throw 2 of those at you at the same time. It feels like they were designing 2 different games. Like the story, environment, art, and music team killed it. Absolutely nailed it. But then when they were trying to piece together the actual gameplay aspects of it, it just, we want to do this, but we're not going to do this, and it just falls apart so terribly satisfying at the end of the day, where that mixed with lack of options, lack of quality of life, lack of solid controls. It's been a meme almost online where people are comparing the combat to literal Souls-like, where you need to be that perfect on dodging, which I don't think it's that hard, but when you're requiring that much attention and the way the character moves and managing a stamina meter on top of a sanity meter, on top of weapon degradation, on top of a health bar, like it just is asking a ton for ultimately what is puzzle-rich horror game. Sucks. Like, I really wanted to enjoy this game. I still do. I still gave it, even with the issues, a 4 out of 5 on my little thingy, because I still loved my time. I finished it, rolled credits, immediately began my second playthrough. But there's a couple things in between where I'm like, God, this could have been perfect. So close to being perfect.
Okay. Yeah, you sound way more negative than a 4 out of 5. I was like, what?
What?
But I get what you're saying there, where it's like there's these small things, enough small things that are just so like annoying. And you're like, come on, like, why are you there? Why do you do this? I was gonna ask, do you feel like they shoehorned or maybe added more Souls-like feel to combat just because that's the trend, and maybe that's kind of what they did, it feels like?
That's where I don't know. Like I said, it's what people are referring to it online as. For me personally, it feels like they were trying to make the combat of the older game still relevant today in 2025, which I think this is kind of the weird brainchild of that. Like, we're going to have your dodges and the clunky combat and all this, but we're not going to really update it to fit today's standards. And I'm thinking of what they could have learned from the horror game sense, what they could have learned from Bloober, what they could have learned from the Silent Hill 2 remake, even. Like, that fixed a lot of this stuff that they kind of regress back to being the main team.
Hmm.
Which, like, it may be sounding negative, like, the rest of it's just so good. Like, at the core, like, it's a game about grief, it's the game about addictions and very adult and gruesome topics that people don't really talk about, and even in games now and back then, like, it's very not common to find. The horror aspects are okay. I said before it's more gruesome than anything. I sent you that cutscene last week that I got to after the fact, and it's just that over and over, and the sound effects being mixed in, and when you find out kind of the real world representation of what all that means, it's heartbreaking. And this late teenage schoolgirl you're playing as, like, your heart breaks. And it fits so well again with the music cues of, we're gonna put you through this very uncomfortable situation to be in this character's shoes, and then we'll bring you back to the real world town that has now been taken over by the red flowers and the lilies and this creeping moss that at first you're scared by, but it gives this really neat glow to everything. And there's a moment at the end of the game where Hinako, your character, comes back to it and the whole town's covered. Just everything's in ruin, essentially, covered by the stuff. And the only thing she has to say to it is, the town's beautiful. And you're like, after what we've gone through, like, this is kind of a moment of peace and serenity that, yeah, it is. This is a beautiful scene. This is something to admire, despite all the shit you're going through, will go through. Just so good. I love the story, the character work, the music, the art, the level design. Like, it's all great. It's just the actual playing of the game outside of puzzles makes me sad.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel horror games to me just have that barrier anyways. Like, I played for half of Resident Evil Village, and that's like it for horror games. Oh, I played the medium a little bit because that was on Game Pass and I tried it. But yeah, it's just not my thing. And you tell me to play a game like a horror game, I'm gonna assume it's over the shoulder, third person, you're walking. And yeah, there might be combat, but it's gonna be slower paced, it's gonna be like tough, and you're gonna feel like slow. You're probably not gonna feel quick. And that's just that's just kind of the opinion. So I wonder, yeah, if that can change. I don't know what you can do to get the horror and the gameplay to mix, because it feels like there's a good story, there's some good horror elements and all that, but yeah, when it doesn't mesh with the gameplay and you can't have that be frictionless enough, you get where you're at. You're like, I love it, but ugh.
Yeah, it puts it at a weird place, and the second place,
like, for a game too, that's like arguably more than 50% of what should matter in a game is the gameplay, right? I don't think it's a 50-50 there. That's a different conversation, right? But
yeah. I think the weird decisions too with the gameplay stuff, it kind of ties into how they overall present the experience. I mentioned before that it's got contradictory to previous Silent Hill games. You were stuck to one ending at the beginning. I'm gonna go a little spoilery here. If you want to play this game, experience it, listening, tune out, because it's something I need to kind of talk through to fully get the message out.
I'll put my hand down when he's done.
Yeah. You're stuck to this one ending where it pretty much the whole time through the game you have been finding pills for health, which is not normal for the game, normal for the franchise, or not abnormal for the franchise. Pretty normal thing you're used to. Through the story, you find out that your abusive alcoholic father essentially has sold you off to be put in a forced marriage to pay off his debts. your schoolhood friend has been giving you these pills that are a natural remedy that are supposed to kind of give you an out of body experience to avoid pain and all this other stuff. So you become addicted to them essentially to get through this shit, which is wild. And then at the end, you end up fighting what your alternate reality of yourself is, the woman in the official initial reveal trailer in the white ceremonial wedding dress, the face gone, just covered with spores. Like, it's supposed to be a representation of you literally giving up parts of yourself, which was part of the clip I sent you where she literally sawed her face off, sawed her arm off, like killing off these parts of her to make her future husband happy that she has no choice in. And you're like, damn, that's tough. But then the credits roll, and the post-credit scene, it's like, you're in current times, I would assume. It's more modern. There's police sirens, there's radio chatter, and they're like, gruesome murder scene, woman in early 20s, seen fleeing the scene in a wedding dress, blah, blah, blah. They're talking about these pills they find, and the camera pans up on the crime scene, and there's your pill bottle you've had this time. And it's like, so throughout all that, you just randomly, years later, are still alive, killing people now out of nowhere, like just wild, weird shit that takes away from it. And I'm like, that's a bad ending, which is contrary to what I saw online where people like the first ending's good, which is why I wanted to start my second one, because it is right away new dialogue, new collectibles, new just everything that add a little more story. The town has a cult that worships this demon, and your birth brought the demon inside of you, so they've been trying to get it out of you to bring peace to the land. Like, bullshit that you don't get if you don't do these other playthroughs. And then you get through the end, you can skip everything. It tells you if there's a new cutscene, like, hey, you don't want to skip this, there's new stuff here, which I love. Great. It cut my playtime down by like 3 hours.
That's awesome.
Yeah, you get
cool.
to the end, and the boss switches from your embodiment of yourself to your childhood friend who's been giving you the pills, who had a crush on you, but one of your other friends had a crush on him, and he gets taken over by like this puppet demon monster with multiple heads that he's like dealing with his emotions, and it just throws you in this like fog water moonscape to fight him in, and it feels like an Elden Ring boss fight. What the fuck are we doing? Like, again, the combat is bad to, we're gonna make you do this. And they know it's bad because in the first boss fight there, I died. I'm like, fuck, I have to do this again. This is bad. And it's like black screen, she says something, pops back up. They give you 99 pills. You're maxed out on health items. Get back in, you don't reset progress. I'm like, what the fuck? And then I died again because I got stuck in a combo. Black screen again, she says something. And then you come back up, you have max stamina, max health, your sanity meter doesn't drain. Like, it literally forces you to play through this the way they want you to. I'm like, if you guys know it's this bad and make you, they don't want to make you restart the fight because they know it's not good. So they're just going to give you max resources to push through it. I'm like, this is dumb.
Yeah, it's a choice. I get, yeah. It's not tuning the combat. It's just, you're going to get more stuff to keep you alive.
Yeah.
We'll just keep you up. It's like that,
you put your hand in.
That video of the, thank you. Like that video of the soccer and the goalie, and it's like he gets knocked out and then they just like keep using him, or he keeps falling and stuff. Yeah. That's what they're doing to you in this game.
Yeah. Like I said, like, it's not something I want to put in another 2 playthroughs. There's 2 main ones, and then the joke ending they always have in where like you get abducted by aliens or some weird shit. Yeah, it's just, I don't think that multiple playthroughs and then designing the game in a way to force you to play it through it so many times works this time around. I feel if more of those endings...
It sounds like they just... It sounds like the balance is off. Like, from the gameplay and story, and then the whole... Like, it's designed to have multiple playthroughs. It just... it doesn't seem like it's meshes well together. It seems very clunky. And then you can see through the matrix and be like, this, I don't wanna.
And it kind of goes back real fast to like me bitching about settings and quality of life stuff initially. Like I wish I could turn motion blur down. I wish I had camera control. I wish I had all this stuff. And then you start your second
That's wild, yeah.
I was like, and then you start your second playthrough, and it's like, oh, we're gonna let you know if there's new cutscenes here, so you know to skip or not. I'm like, so you put time in to do that, but you won't put in basic accessibility and just options that in 2025 like are the standard now. Like, what are you doing? Which again, the gameplay side just screws me.
Yeah.
I'm still having to play through it. And again, the first playthrough, I think I ended off my first full playthrough while looking for collectibles, going for some achievements, was like 7 hours, 12 minutes. And then my second one, I think I ended off at like 11:50, 11:40 or something. Because it combines them, it's not separate times. So another 4 or 5 hours for the two, which isn't bad. Some people maybe for a full price game nowadays. If not, wait for a sale.
No, I think that's a fine trade-off time-wise and almost an expectation for what they're intending, right? Their intention was to have it be played through multiple times. And it's like, all right, I get it. Sounds like they needed to be more between and better done, but
yeah,
I would like games that do that, like smaller in scale and scope, but more intention, you know? Anyways.
Well, it's kind of like, I mean, if you want to do direct comparisons to Resident Evils, like the guy at work, my resident, he plays through literally has been Resident Evil 4 like 200 times at this point, like no joke. But they do the shit where it's, oh, you beat it the first time, cool. Now you unlocked unlimited ammo. You got this piece of clothing that gives you a buff here. And then if you beat it under 4 hours, we'll give you this. Like they incentivize the other playthroughs outside of the main freaking story that you want to know. Like it's the bonus stuff and fun ways to play it and changes how you play it rather than you want the full experience, play through this 4 or 5 times.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a difference. Do you think they keep the format? Do you think they stick kind of going for? Do you think they just need to make it cleaner? Quality of life stuff?
Yeah, like I said, I hope they keep switching areas. I hope we get new scenery, a new location. In the gameplay,
Island Hill G next.
Yeah, to the alphabet. I don't care. Put it in Germany. No, I'll be in Germany. Bad time. Don't want to do that. But yeah, give them new locations for the art team to run wild with, and let the gameplay team continue to learn and refocus on what it should be nowadays, because it feels like an old game. Like it, and not in a good nostalgic way. Like it feels like I'm fighting through trying to play this.
Yeah, and that's like damning for a lot of people, you know.
Well, especially nowadays, yeah, where
That's
money's
what I mean,
tight, and which I think they are doing. I just saw the other day actually. They're doing a stream this month, I believe, on what's coming next for the series, which there's been some leaks of smaller game like they released last year on PlayStation, that free demo they did. Another one called Townfall, which is supposed to be purely first person walking puzzles, no combat at all. So we'll see how that lands. If that is given a release date, what else is shown at that showcase later on. But
they should go like do something if they can get like Hellblade, where the combat can just, I feel like in terms of story, you're doing stuff, you're walking, you're doing your thing, and then boom, combat being contained. I wonder if that's a route they could go, or do you, where if, you know, I feel like the combat in Hellblade was in an arena. Is that, I don't think that was a bad thing for what it was. Maybe it's a bad comparison. Or
no, I think that kind of compares to the Gauntlet rooms, right? Like,
yeah,
if it was just that where they're building horror set pieces that don't involve enemies in the real world when you're just wandering around. And the combat was confined to certain areas where you knew what was happening, and that messaging was better across. I think that would have done wonders to help, rather than spend 2 hours walking through the town avoiding fights to get to 2 rooms you need to fight multiple enemies at, and you haven't learned these skills really because you haven't been incentivized to use them. I think that would have been better.
Yeah, it is wild for you to hear and take the message, avoid combat, and then you're coming out being like, I feel like there's so much combat and I didn't know what to do because you told me to avoid it. Like, it's like, there's a miscommunication there.
Gameplay story development team, felt like I said, 2 entirely different teams working on this game.
Yeah.
Yeah, I found the thing here. Silent Hill Townfall supposedly set to release on March 26th, 2026. Showcase later this month, and then also the announcement and first trailer for the Silent Hill 1 remake from Bloober. So we'll see how that goes. I hope they don't go overboard now, because I feel like it's going to be reaching the point of too much Silent Hill, which people don't want. Like, especially if they keep it with how this story was, like, that's a tough thing to swallow. But I'm not going to want to put myself through every couple months.
Yeah. No, I outside looking in, I'd hope they take time just to reinvigorate it, because, hey, if we see another Achilles, whatever, within the next year, at Achilles thing, it's like, all right. It'll close the show and people will hype it up and I'll go, another thing I check out of because it's just not for me. But yeah, if it has some time and it can just do something a little different, I don't know. I could be intrigued to try it out, because the way you're talking about the story, Jesus Christ, man. That would hit me like a truck. And if you're saying the way I can interpret what you're hinting at and saying with representation and how that revealed, it's like, oh God, like, I get the appeal, gameplay. So
the representation, like, think of that and that first image I sent you of that creature I was fighting. Like, bro, what the fuck?
Oh no. Oh,
yeah. The last thing, which I just almost forgot, going back to your Assassin's Creed image, I told you to remember. Shout out again to the art team. All the achievement art for this game, peak, top tier. It all looks like that kind of water brush painting old style for each of the achievement art, done on like these old slab tiles. Each one beautiful to look at. I checked everyone afterwards because, like, these are great. Like, I want to use these in other things. Like, achievement art, great. Something super overlooked.
Yeah, it is. I remember I remember loving achievement art back in the day and like always looking. I haven't looked at achievement art in such a long time, because like it's such an afterthought for a lot of companies. But
yeah, check out Silent Hill ones. It's good. With that, wraps us up here, because we were going incredibly long on only 2 games this week. And we'll be back next week. Again, Keeper First Impressions, Pokemon First Impressions.
When does that come out?
Keeper?
Yeah.
Wednesday.
Do both games come out next week?
Keeper is Wednesday, Pokemon's Friday, I believe.
Wow. Pokemon snuck up. Not buying it, but like, wow. I thought that was November for some reason.
Unless I'm wild. Hold on.
Oh, I would love and hate this to happen to you.
October 16th. So yeah, Thursday
this week.
And then Keeper's Wednesday. Which Keeper 2, I bitched about it a week or 2 ago. Finally got a price where you could pre-order it outside of Game Pass. I believe it is a $30 title, so more of those. Can't wait.
Yeah, that's not bad. Yeah, I can't wait. Are you thinking this is something we could... No, a general we. Like, do you think this is a shorter thing, like a 5-10
100%.
hour jaunt?
100%. Watching the podcast and like what the gameplay is, if it's more than that, I'm going to start hating it. I'll tell you right now. Like, it looks like a very smaller, more carefully curated experience. So yeah.
Oh yeah, Pokemon Thursday, Keeper Friday. Unless, I don't think they're doing early access.
Oh, okay. Well,
anyway,
it's payday future money.
Maybe streaming it on Friday.
Streaming Keeper?
Yeah, maybe.
Do it. Till then.
Do it.
Be good to each other. Happy gaming. Stay safe. Wherever you are. Catch you next week. Bye.
Ah.